So let me bring Edwina into the discussion and ask you, what's your, on the background, I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but given the background that Justice has put forward, what is your assessment of the insurance market in Ghana? Because as you're saying, it's premium contribution against the uncertainty of tomorrow, so to speak, and all of that. In Ghana, do we have a market that is seeing to this? What is the nature of the market?
I'll start from this point of view that insurance has grown a lot in Ghana. I mean, initially, people never used to appreciate what insurance is. But as my colleague has rightly put it, I mean, we are all trying to protect our risk. I mean, risk don't normally happen. But when you do, and sometimes when it does happen, then the few that suffer need to be compensated. So what we do is that in assessing our insurance policies, then we look at the risk, and that is what we pitch the premium to. Now, in Ghana, I would say yes, because we have NIC, I mean, overseeing all the insurance activities.
That's the National Insurance
Commission. Overseeing the activities of all insurance companies, and then making sure that, I mean, people are rightly indemnified and the right things are done. It's all well and good, but I think we could also go further by making sure that monitoring goes on, because then we have some insurances that are compulsory and some that are not. But I strongly believe that once, if it is, people are well conscientized and educated, you really don't need anybody to make insurance compulsory. It comes to you naturally that you need to make sure that you know the properties and assets that you work so hard for are protected. Okay,
great. You use a term, staying with you, which I know is a whole topic for people who study insurance, whether as law students or as business students, etc. Indemnity, to indemnify. What does it mean? On Corporate Wednesday, we try to break it down. We try to turn people at home into experts simply by listening to us. Can you just explain to us what you mean by the indemnity or indemnifying people? What does that mean in insurance?
Okay, to break it down, I'd rather use maybe an example. If you insure your vehicle, what you were expecting, if let's say a comprehensive vehicle. When you say comprehensive, it means that you are bringing something to us, the whole car, and you're expecting that if anything happens to it, but the indemnity is to place you back to the same situation, not to make you richer.
The lawyers say to restore you to the status quo ante.
Thank you very much. So that is what it is. So that is the indemnity. Not to make you rich. So we also, that is why sometimes people say the insurance, when something goes wrong, then they bring the clauses. And it's not that. We want to make sure we've done the right thing. But that is what we said we'll do, and that's what we try to do.
Great. That's perfect. I realize that Justice wanted to chip in.
Yes. You see, at this part of our world, we rather place less emphasis on insuring our properties. You know, properties we've sweated so hard to acquire. We tend to leave them at the mercy of God, and we think that, you know, in the West, you know, situations of flood, of storm, God will be there to protect us. But you see, if you go to advanced economics, they really appreciate the essence of insurance. And therefore, they will want to put money to protect their properties that they've said so hard, and it's so hard to acquire. And unfortunately, like you said, the situation of insurance on our market is rather the reverse. People think that, well, once perhaps I go to church and I pay my tithes, once perhaps, you know, I have a security guard that guards my home when I'm going to the office, you know, the chances are that nothing's going to happen. But you bear witness. Even the church temple, when the storm comes, it's not spared. Even where you have as a temple of God. So the fact is that we are all exposed to one risk or the other. And if you look at the insurance premium contribution to GDP, even on our local economy, you'll be surprised about the rate. It's just a little over 3.5%.
Explain
to
that.
GDP. Now, what it means is that if you put the whole of Ghana's economic, you know, gains, let's say call it about 4 trillion USD, 3.5% of that goes into premium, you know, insurance premium.
Okay.
And what I'm saying is that it gives a sense that there's so much growth for insurance business. And therefore, looking at it in its entirety, there's so much room for us to grow. People are shying away from insuring their properties, insuring their lives, insuring their future, and so on.
So this 3.5, what does it mean? What does it mean in terms of what is happening?
That is a quantum of total of insurance premium put together by all insurance companies to GDP.
So what does it mean in terms of, my question is, so what does it mean that insurance is
it
not
means that it has a long way to go.
Absolutely.
It has a long way to go. Ordinarily, the average in Africa is a little under 10%.
Okay.
In Europe, I remember it's a little over 15%.
Okay.
We are looking at bringing it a little closer even to the African level, about 10%.
Right.
Then we can say that, yes, the economy is really taking insurance for serious. And I can tell you that most times when people are hit so hard by some natural disasters, we call the perils of life, acts of God, and I can tell you that some of these people can even lose their life because they can just not bear the consequences of some of these losses. And that's why we as experts come in to say that please pay just a little token so that in those worst case scenarios, we come in to indemnify you.
I mean, if I don't address that, the biggest complaint that you hear is that insurance companies do not like to pay, what do you call it? When you have a problem, you've been contributing your premium for whatever time.
Going forward, like I said,
and you have to, it's time for claims, go and come. To put it the Ghanaian way, go and come. It's the order of the day.
We are saying that
so many of such complaints.
We are saying that, look, I'm telling you, the competition is so right that companies like us who are relatively entering into the market are looking for opportunities rather to pay claims. That will make us sell. If I come to your station, if I go to wherever station and I start making the noise, people will just listen to me. It just goes off. But they will only witness the thing I'm able to do by way of paying my claims. People, if you satisfy a client, he's able to tell a lot more. You know? So this has been our hallmark. There's no magic you are doing. What you are saying is that we want to give the best of service to our clients. And you'll be amazed the level of our growth. From 2008 to now. The growth pattern consistently has been over 50%. From 555,000 USD to close to about 7 million USD within a space time of 3-4 years.
Wow.
And we are projecting. Next year we are looking at 12 million US dollars. So that tells you that it's not by way of any magic, but the fact that you are able to come clean and render service to our customers. I mean, that's the bottom line. People don't care about your brand image. People don't care about the kind of office space you keep. How they get value for their money. And that's what we are up to. I mean, like I was citing an example. When the Nigerian bank, so to speak, came, I mean, people were like, we don't trust them at all. But today, the banks are calling the best bank of the year, the best bank of whatever, are all these other banks and the GT banks and what have you. And for us, these are examples for us to challenge ourselves. Like, look, this is the kind of service levels we want to keep to ourselves. And I can tell you, even on the side of the product lines you have, there's a particular product which we always pride ourselves with. We have what you call the Combined Workmen's Compensation and Group PA, which we subscribe or we prescribe to corporate organizations.
Combined Workmen's Compensation.
And then Group PA.
And Group what?
Group PA. That's Group Personal Accident, if you like.
Right.
What it does is that if you are an employee of a particular company, you have the chance of enjoying a cover for 24 hours worldwide, unlike the traditional ones where it's only up to the time you report for office and then you close. But we are saying that no, there's something that we could do beyond that. When the employee closes, I mean, the risk factor does not end there. He goes to I mean, he gets home, he has his children, I mean, they go out over the weekends, he wants to travel. As an employer, you have to have interest in whatever the employee does. Okay. And so we have offered this policy on the market just to enhance the service levels of corporate bodies. Right. So this is what we are doing. I mean, apart from that, there are others perhaps as you roll out.
With it, because exactly. I like us to talk about the products you have.
Precisely.
And that's a very interesting one you cite. Yeah. But Edwina, there's one major complaint again against insurance generally. You mentioned the pool. I mean, actually, it was Justice who mentioned the fact that you're contributing to a pool by way of the premium that you pay. But a lot of people don't understand why that pool is valid only for a year, for the most part. And that, for example, for their vehicles, insurance is renewed, is it annually?
Yeah,
yes,
annually.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that to some people's minds in these parts of the world where hard-earned money is not exactly disposable, when they come to think of the fact that I have to contribute X amount 12 times in a month, or 12 months for a year, nothing happens, I have no complaints, and so it is lost. And then the following year we start again. That is an issue for many people. What's your response to that? Okay,
my response, one, what I like to say is that, as you were saying, your vehicle is about $20,000. Right. You're paying maybe 300 Ghana cedis. It's not enough. I mean, if the next day we walk out of our office and you bash your car, we have to cough up the 20. And what we thrive on, if it's comprehensive. Now, what we thrive on is investment. Okay. That's why it's a pool. We put it all together. We make sure we have a good investment desk. We invest to be able to indemnify the right people as and when they come. Now, what we at Equity is also trying to do, I appreciate where you're coming from. I've been paying my premium for 5 years. Nothing has happened. I keep paying my premium. What do I get in return? That is why we go beyond the normal collecting of premium annually. Constantly, regularly, monthly, quarterly, anytime we have the opportunity, we try to visit you. We try to come to you. We offer service, free advisory services, just to check and make sure that you're fine and you're okay. Because not only do we want to be paying claims, we want to protect. I mean, we wish you don't have a claim anyway. Sure. So we also want to make sure that we educate, whether it's your staff, whether it's your household, or we educate everybody so that even it doesn't happen at all. Then maybe it will get to a point that we'll be able to say that, listen, the rate at which maybe our claim ratio is going down and all that,